Hi guys, welcome back to Aisha.Academy. And in today's video, we're going through simultaneous equations but quadratics. So I have a video on linear simultaneous equations in the link below, which I'll add. So when it comes to quadratic simultaneous equations, this usually involves a quadratic equation and linear equation with the same x and y values. So an example of this. So let's say if we have x squared plus y squared equals 20, that's our quadratic equation, and we have y is equal to 10 minus 2x. The first thing you want to do is either substitute x or y into the quadratic equation. So from the linear equation, it will be easier to substitute y. So in that case, rather than writing x squared plus y squared, we're going to change that part to x squared plus 10 minus 2x squared is equal to 20. Now, one thing that you may notice is that the 10 minus 2x squared is in brackets. So essentially, this is going to be the same as having two brackets multiplying each other. And that it looks like a very similar format to what we can recognize as expanding quadratic equations. So I will also add the link of that above here right now and in the drop box down below to refresh your memory, because you will need to be familiar with expanding and expanding and factorizing quadratics in order to answer these questions. So again, when it comes to expanding quadratics, you have to multiply each component in the bracket by each component in the other bracket. So it will be minus 20x, and then you've got plus 4x squared, plus 100, and then another minus 20x. And then after multiplying out the brackets, remember you want to bring everything down that was in the equation originally. So that's your x squared, and then the part where it's equal to 20. Now that we have this, we want to rearrange the equation to make it equal to 0, and we want to solve it to work out what x is. So we're going to now simplify. So adding the x squareds together, adding the x's together, and adding the numbers together, making it equal to 0. Then to find x, it's going to be by factorizing. So not either actually, it's usually factorizing predominantly. So here the easiest thing would be divide by 5. So dividing everything in the equation by 5, that would leave you with x squared minus 8x plus 16 is equal to 0. And then if we were to factorize that, again using your knowledge of factorizing quadratic equations, you would be left with x minus 4 in one bracket and literally the same thing in the other bracket, x minus 4. So another way of writing this is x minus 4 bracket and then squared, but I've written it out as two separate brackets, which is the same thing. So because we have the same bracket, we only have one solution for x, which is x is equal to 4. And now that we have our x value, we're going to substitute that into the linear equation to work out the y value. So it'll be y is equal to 10 minus 2 times 4. So then the 4 in the bracket. And then you're essentially going to do 10 minus 8, which is going to be equal to, see if you can work it out before it comes up on the screen. And so you'd be left with a y value of 2. So now we're going to go into some practice questions. Example 1. So in this example, we've got our quadratic on the top and we've got our linear equation on the bottom. So because this time is x is equal to, we are actually going to now substitute x into the quadratic equation because it's going to be easier than rearranging to make y the subject. So that is now going to change to 2y plus 6 squared plus y squared is equal to 36. Again, we're going to do the same thing as before where we're going to expand the brackets. So expanding our 2y plus 6 and multiplied by our 2y plus 6. So that would give us 4y squared plus 12y plus another 12y and then add 36. So then it's going to be 4y squared plus 24y plus 36 is equal to 36. And then remember, plus the y squared from before. So now we're going to simplify and again make it equal to 0. Now we're going to factorize. So the common multiple is y. So this time it's a 1 bracket factorization, which can happen, that's fine. And that's equal to 0. And we can still work out our values for y. So y could either be equal to 0 or y could be equal to minus 24 over 5. So this time it has 2 solutions. So that can happen. The first example we saw, it was 1 solution for x and y, but sometimes you can have 2. So for this now, we need to substitute our y values into the linear equation to work out x. So when you substitute y is equal to 0, you get x is equal to 6. And when you substitute y is equal to minus 24 over 5 into the linear equation, see if you can work it out before it comes up on the screen. So for those of you that got it right, the answer would be x is equal to minus 18 over 5. So well done for those of you that got that right. Example 2. So again, same thing where we've got a quadratic and linear equation. So this time for our linear equation, y is the subject. So we're going to substitute y in the quadratic equation. So it's going to be x squared plus 2x minus 3 squared is equal to 2. And then same thing. So once you always substitute either the x or y in the quadratic equation, you want to expand, simplify, work out one of the letters, and then substitute in. So it's going to be the same method as before. So we're going to expand our brackets. So this is why I mentioned that understanding your expanding and factorizing of quadratics helps you immensely with simultaneous equations of quadratics. So again, multiply everything out. So it's going to be 4x squared minus 6x minus 6x again plus 9. And again, bring down the x squared and bring down the equals to 2. Then we're going to rearrange this, simplify it, and make it equal to 0. So that's going to be 5x squared minus 12x plus 7 is equal to 0. We're going to factorize it, which is going to be a 2 bracket factorization. And this is going to leave us with 5x minus 7 in 1 bracket. I've gone straight into the factorizing quadratics, by the way, but if you actually want to understand how I do this, please watch the video in the link below to refresh your memory. So these are the 2 brackets, and then we would make each bracket equal to 0 and rearrange it to make it x equal to subject. That's how you work out what x is equal to. So with the x minus 1, you would make it x minus 1 is equal to 0 and rearrange that to make x the subject, which would leave you with x is equal to 1. And the other value for x is equal to 7 over 5. And then we're going to substitute those values into the linear equation. So if we substitute x equals 1 in, so that would leave us with an answer of y being equal to minus 1. And if we're to substitute x is equal to 7 over 5, that would leave us with an answer of, see if you can work out before it comes up on the screen. So the answer would be y is equal to minus 1 over 5. So minus a fifth. And that's basically the end of simultaneous equations for quadratics, guys. I hope that was useful, and thanks for watching.